And here we are on Atlantis Spaceship, and at the top of the map in the blue, we're going to start out with our player from Quantic Gaming. He is a Korean Terran player, and his name is Apocalypse. Or as I'm always tempted to call him, Quantic.Apocalypse.
Quantic.Apocalypse.
Sounds like a dinosaur. The dinosaur Quantic.Apocalypse. Going up against the Towel Terran himself, the terrible, terrifyingly terrific Towel Terran. It is FXO GuMiho, making it very deep in Codes last season. He will be our obvious favorite for this map. And this match.
I'm just going to outright say one of the favorites of the tournament as well. No, we've got,
I would say so.
This is a pretty ridiculous tournament. We've got players like Puma and Hero and Pult and Jakchi and GuMiho. You know, a lot of people count him out or didn't think he was going to make it as far as he did in Codes, but I love his brand of Terran. It's very raw, lots of excitement, lots of dropping. And so I love the way he matches up against other players, and I'm looking forward to this set.
Yeah, I mean, GuMiho plays like it looks like he's kind of like walking on the edge of a cliff, you know, or maybe not that. He's like breakdancing on the edge of a cliff. He's like doing this thing where he spins on his head, only his head is like half off the edge of the cliff, but he always makes it, and he always looks so cool doing it too. So, yeah, GuMiho going for gas first there as well. Actually, both of these players going for gas first, so we are going to see a bit of a more tech-heavy opening from our two Terran players.
I'm not gonna lie, the image of GuMiho breakdancing on the side of a cliff with his towel in hand, no less, because he would have it there.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because he wants to make sure he doesn't get sweaty while he's, you know, while he's on the edge of the cliff.
Towel is like, it's just to make it a little bit softer for his head to be on the cliff. It's like, you know, a lot of the breakdancers use like the cardboard, right? They throw down. GuMiho just uses a towel, man. That's what he does.
I love it. And we had an interesting little difference in the build already, though, as Apocalypse cut one SCV to put up his barracks on 12 right after the refinery went up. GuMiho decided to put that down pretty normally afterwards on 13 after the refinery was already finished, but kind of a cool little difference in their build so far. Of course, Apocalypse is going to be a little bit ahead of his orbital command timing.
Well, the thing is you usually don't see players do what Apocalypse does. It's not like he got his factory really any earlier. Because that's kind of you would think why you would do it. That's why you go gas first, is to get your factory faster. But his orbital command is considerably ahead. Yeah. So
here's one thing it did though, because he decided to cut one SCV initially, he actually finished up his 16th SCV the moment his barracks finished up, whereas GuMiho had finished it up a little bit before and decided to put up a 17th one. So he had to wait for even additional time for that 17th SCV to finish up, and Apocalypse was able to get his orbital command down, frankly, about 30 seconds faster. So that's a cool little difference. We'll see if it actually plays into anything, but I love little differences like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't make a huge deal in this game. One thing that it might do is kind of change up the scan timings. A lot of players will kind of try to deduce if their opponent went for a faster command center by when the scan comes down. A lot of times if you use the scan from your second orbital as it finishes, that'll actually tell your opponent that you've made a second orbital, just because they know the timings. So by messing around with this orbital command timing, he might be able to kind of mess around with GuMiho a little bit if GuMiho's kind of relying on that type of thing. So that may be where it kind of comes into play, but other than that, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. But both of these guys, it looks like, going for some pretty quick Banshees here.
Yes, they are, as that starport for Apocalypse is going to get shifted onto the tech lab as well. Of course, his is already finished, but by the time GuMiho's finishes and the time Apocalypse lifts it over, we should see things at about the same time. Banshee already coming up now for Apocalypse, and it looks like GuMiho, he's waiting.
What?
Yeah, it could start. Looks like he's getting in.
He actually got in and saw everything. I think he's going to... he does go with the Banshee first after all. All right. He was busy doing a little bit of micro to make sure that the SCV got in there. That's why the Banshee was a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
But he did see absolutely everything. So he's going to be able to prepare. Now, has Quantic.Apocalypse done an appropriate level of scouting at GuMiho's base?
Let's
what has
see.
He seen?
Well, nothing. He has literally done no scouting.
Well, it is a two-player map, you know, and when your Banshee gets in, you will be able to kind of see what your opponent's doing, but still a bit of a risk here taken by Apocalypse early in the game.
Apocalypse going up for really late cloak as well, but he actually overreacted to the SCV inside of his base, pulled all of his SCVs off of the line there for just a bit, but looks like he's fully back on his mining now, albeit a bit back in supply. GuMiho now expanding, and it looks like Apocalypse just threw up his as well, but of course it's going to be a little bit later than GuMiho's is.
Now this little delayed cloak by Apocalypse is kind of to get GuMiho to think that he didn't go for cloak and use a mule, you know, because he doesn't think he needs it. Then you cloak, come in and do damage. GuMiho though did see both gases because he caught a great scout of his opponent, so I don't think that's going to work on him this time. And yeah, Viking already out, and it is going to kill that Banshee before Cloak finishes. Oh, no, he actually lets the Banshee get away. All right.
A couple of Hellions making their way into the base now, and I'm a little bit surprised that Apocalypse is going to continue with this. He did not, unfortunately, he got in just enough to see the expansion, but not to see the missile turret. But with the Viking there, he's got to figure that GuMiho is very well prepared.
Yeah, I mean, GuMiho's going to have 2 orbitals, as we can see pretty quick here. He's got a missile turret up already, so it's not like he really even needs the scans all that much. And his first Banshee is out on the way as well. Hellions did soften up those Marines just a little bit here. So Apocalypse, he has to try to do damage with it, I mean, he invested in it. He has to try to do something with it, but as we can see, it's just not working out yet.
No, unfortunately not. He is going to send another Banshee around into the main, though. Yeah, and we do have one here for GuMiho as well. A missile turret for Apocalypse coming up, and he does have Marines being sent over, but unfortunately they do not have combat shield, so just a couple of hits and they will die. Oh, but some Cloak Banshees making their way in now for Apocalypse as well. He picks off a couple of Marines, but he's not done any substantial damage to these SCVs quite yet.
Now, I thought GuMiho had a Viking down by his natural as well. I wonder why he's not bringing that up. I think he might be busy microing back at the base of his opponent here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hello, Banshee.
Stole a couple of kills. Nice kill on the reactor, though. I like that. So you will not bring that back. It is forgotten.
Oh, hi, Templar.
Oh, boy. I am going to just straight up murder you after we're done with the cast.
Well, then I think a lot of people are going to be sad, and you're going to have to tell them why.
That's okay. I'll stand there like Dexter. And it'll be glorious. Whoa, that's getting way too deep now.
Yeah, man. I didn't know you had it all thought out that well. I make sure I lock my doors tonight, I guess.
You better. All right. Well, GuMiho's going to get fished off by this Viking here in just a bit. The Banshees are retreating for Apocalypse. He'll be able to heal those up here momentarily. Unfortunately for this Banshee, though, he is not going to survive very long. Bye-bye.
So, what I'm curious is what kind of dinosaur is the Quantic.Apocalypse? Is he maybe a scavenger like the Tyrannosaurus Rex? He's got those little useless arms, big mouth to fight things with.
Well, unfortunately, he's just locked his tank in.
Yes, he has. So that tank would be like the useless arms on a Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, that's good.
Can do damage, but he just never gets close enough to. So yeah, I think we've decided Quantic.Apocalypse, he is going to be a scavenging
Tyrannosaurus.
Theropod, yeah. No, the theropods were the plant-eating ones, maybe.
You have got me on my dinosaur knowledge
dinosaur
is lacking.
Tweet me at GoSuDoa. Let me know, and also tweet at CaptainJamsSC2. Let us both know what a theropod is.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
The meat eaters or the plant eaters.
So what does that make GuMiho then? Triceratops? He's like
he's
vicious. He's vicious because. Okay.
I got it all. I'm sorry. I've already got this all thought out.
Oh, do you? All right, go ahead.
GuMiho is like a pack of velociraptors, man. He like watches and observes, and then he attacks you from all sides at once.
See, I thought velociraptor at first, but then I was like, oh, he can only be one. But no, I think you're.
He's a pack of velociraptors.
Yes. He is that strong and that wise.
The Velociraptor Terran now.
It's a lot of tanks already.
The Raptor Terran.
For only 11 Marines out there. The Raptor Terran.
The Raptor Terran.
And now, see, I envision him as Raptor playing StarCraft, but he still has a towel, so.
Velociraptor plays StarCraft. Hey,
yes.
GuMiho with this pretty powerful push he's got, as we can see, 3 tanks, siege mode, not quite finishing up, so he is kind of hanging back. Excuse me, just a little bit. Quantic.Apocalypse really wanting to push this back in a big way here. Siege mode is not done yet.
No, it's not, unfortunately. The Raven was actually just short of point of fence drone, so had to drop down an auto turret, but Apocalypse cleans up that pretty well. He's going to retreat with his SCVs at the moment. GuMiho trying to go to a third base. Looks like Apocalypse already has one finished, though.
Yeah, I mean, Apocalypse did the absolute perfect move there, in my opinion, here. He pulled the SCVs really early, met the army before it got to this base, didn't give GuMiho the chance to siege up. That's good map awareness by our blue Terran player, and that's the type of thing he needs to do to stay in this game. And he's even got a little bit of a supply lead right now. I'm curious what the worker count is at the moment. Can we check that out? 45 to 55. So yeah, he did, of course, lose some SCVs against GuMiho's push there, but it's better than losing the game, let me tell you that.
But, yeah, he actually cleaned that up perfectly, as you mentioned. And now he's doing a weird build. He's got 2 factories, 2 starports. He initially was producing off of 2 starports and just 1 factory, and I thought maybe we were going to see Sky Terran or something along those lines. But he's still investing into that air control very, very effectively. GuMiho making a hard switch over to Bio, though, as it was just Marines and Marauders coming out. Now finally adding in a bunch of air forces of his own.
Yep, so I think we're going to see him go largely bio, and if he does kind of go heavy Viking, we might see a battlecruiser transition later on in the game. That tends to be what Bioterrans have been doing in PvT lately. But Apocalypse, you know, as we saw, is going just basically straight up mech at this point. So GuMiho's going to have to be very, very careful about his positioning in the later stages of the game here. I like the decision by Apocalypse to take that third expansion at the one with the rich gas. It's actually an extremely, extremely defensible location. Defensive?
Yes. All right, well, Hellions getting a little bit ahead there, but they're actually dealing out some pretty significant damage. It's hard for GuMiho to turn around and do anything at the moment. Now the rest of Apocalypse's army is there. GuMiho being pushed back at the moment.
Wow, those Banshees doing just a ton of damage as well.
Wow.
Apocalypse kind of manhandling GuMiho in this game so far.
No kidding.
He's just been playing a little bit unexpectedly, and I think GuMiho has been caught off guard by it. GuMiho also taking his third base at his, I suppose we could just call it pocket expansion. That works out.
Sure, yeah, I like that. So both players going for that. You know, this map has produced some very interesting games recently, and I especially like that players are designing builds that effectively take care of that. I mean, GuMiho played it a couple of times during Team Arena Challenge. We know that it's going to be employed during IPL 4 as well, so...
Oh man, this is like the best map ever for a mech Terran too. Just
yeah,
because that base is going to give you so much gas. You're going to be able to make a lot of stuff. You can see him putting up 2 more factories right now as well. It's going to go into really big time production here. He'll be up to, is it 4 or 5? Is he
4?
I think he has. Does he have another one somewhere else?
I don't think so.
No, he actually doesn't. Okay, wow, on a few less factories than I expected.
Yeah, he was just really investing in his air forces for a long time, which frankly have given him the advantage in every engagement so far. He hasn't had a strong ground component, but just having control of the air has worked out well. Now, neither player has upgrades for the air, I believe. Let me take a look. Yeah, no +1 attacks for anyone.
Yep.
GuMiho's
taking his 4th, but it is scouted by Quantic.Apocalypse.
Yeah, and he actually does a pretty effective job of delaying its construction for quite a long period of time. He does not have another command center coming up anytime soon, though. You know, looks like he is planning to do a lot of damage off of 3 bases.
Everybody was worried about Velociraptors in Jurassic Park, but at the end of the movie, remember when the Velociraptors fought the Tyrannosaurus? Tyrannosaurus won, man.
Ooh, he did.
He won. He, like, bit the Velociraptor off his back.
Well,
the big banner came down.
Well, that's just Hollywood, because science tells us that the Velociraptors would kick serious ass.
I don't know. I saw it on the silver screen, man.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Velociraptors for life, all right?
Velociraptors for life,
yes,
right?
It is a lot of Banshees. 5.
Somebody has a shirt that says that, I'm sure.
I hope so. If not, make one and send it to me. But, let's see here. 6 tanks, 15 Hellions. That's it for 183 supply army, because it's largely the 10 Vikings and 5 Banshees that are going to make a big difference here.
It's getting to the point where GuMiho is going to just basically need to do everything he can to avoid the army, and that is not avoiding the army, GuMiho.
No.
Trying to run away here. He's got a decent air force himself, but, oh man, the tanks not really participating.
No. And you know what? GuMiho actually starting to push back this air army. As soon as that goes down, this looks significantly less scary for Apocalypse. All of the Vikings have gone down, and now just the 2 Banshees for GuMiho are going to be able to take out everything. Here comes the rest of the Bioforces. GuMiho actually finding his way back into this. He's going to take out a monster amount of forces.
Yeah, gigantic misengagement by Apocalypse. I mean, he wasn't going to win that fight. You know, anyway, GuMiho just had such a nice Viking count. Yeah, and there's the battlecruiser transition there for GuMiho as well. Well, you can see it. Okay, there we go. He did kill that with the Vikings. So now that GuMiho's kind of cleaned up this army in a big way, though he is still losing some Marauders, the battlecruisers are going to come out, and Apocalypse just will not have a lot of anti-air to deal with this. He's still making Banshees.
This has been an awesome Banshee, though, I have to say. It just nabbed 8 Marauder kills there in the middle.
Well, there are 2 Thors on the way for Apocalypse, so I suppose he will be pretty safe against the Vikings. It depends on the transitioning here, but keep in mind, too, that the Marauders that GuMiho is going to be making are going to be kind of Thor killers. It's going to be kind of their job at this point. And so, all in all, GuMiho is starting to look like he's going to have the better unit composition here. He's still a little bit behind supply-wise. He's starting to catch up because he does have that 4th base. But, you know, Apocalypse could do things, like that. You could run some Hellions in there. Will they get past the Marauders, though, and do any damage?
I don't know. He's got to go through the Marines up at the front, but it looks like he is just forced to run away. He does kill a few Marines there for the loss of just one Hellion, but certainly wanted to do economic damage there. And he is just going to try and run around the side. A couple more Hellions getting picked off. It looks like the rest will as well. Oh, Battlecruiser above, already nabbing 2 kills.
Yeah, he does got the Battlecruiser. He is making 3 Vikings at once right now. 3 Vikings and 3 Thors at once. That gas really kicking in for him, and he does have his 4th base as well. So Apocalypse definitely not out of it yet, but GuMiho, you know, he got what he needed to get done to kind of try to catch up in this game.
And GuMiho still producing quite a bit of stuff. He's still going up in workers, despite he has 73 already on the field. Apocalypse finally taking his 4th base. He just got it down, so we'll see if he'll be able to kick in those extra resources in just a bit. Taking a look around, though.
Yeah.
Corvid Reactor and Seeker Missile.
GuMiho never disappoints. Making 3 Ravens at once with the Seeker Missile, and you know what? That's pretty good against Battlecruisers, or, well, I wouldn't watch Battlecruisers. It's pretty good against Vikings and Thors, is what it is.
Yes, it is.
Thors can't outrun it. Obviously, tanks can't outrun it. Does a lot of damage. People don't realize. The big problem is that it's very high on energy. Ooh. It's such a short range, too, but
yeah. Gotta watch out.
Pushing ahead.
Yeah, but GuMiho actually does have the air advantage right now, 9 Vikings to 8. He still does not have any upgrades for them quite yet, but ship weapons level 1 is on the way.
Those are a problem.
Yeah, and Apocalypse trying to do some damage over here at the 3rd, the pocket expansion. It looks like he will be able to kill this, and there it goes.
Wow, oh, the SCV is just being roasted as well. And is that a drop from GuMiho in the upper right part of the map?
No, it's just an SCV.
Just an SCV, okay.
All right.
So here's the thing. GuMiho is making 3 Battlecruisers at once. He was making Ravens. He's kind of spending a lot of tech and things that it takes a while to get rolling before they're really good, you know?
Yeah.
So I worry that GuMiho is trying to do too much at the wrong time. And here comes the big army from Quantic.Apocalypse.
Yeah, we'll see if these Thors in the back could be enough. 1 point defense drone did go down. That is going to allow GuMiho to start working his way through the Vikings very quickly.
Oh, the Ravens.
Oh, just get decimated by the Thors.
Man, and you know what? There are going to be 3 Battlecruisers popping out here, but it should be enough Thors, you know, despite the fact that they're not very good against Battlecruisers. It might be enough to handle it.
All right, well, I was cheering for the Velociraptor, but the Tyrannosaurus.
I told you, man, at the end of the movie, the Tyrannosaurus wins.
All right, where are the Battlecruisers? They're floating their way down. They're going to go after the siege tanks first. The Thors trying to change their attention here in just a bit. They will start going after the Battlecruisers now. Of course, the Javelin missiles don't do that much against air, but that many Thors is still going to be quite strong against these Battlecruisers.
Not as much as throwing like a real Javelin at a Battlecruiser. Just doesn't do a whole lot.
That's true.
Yeah, and GuMiho microing these very well, though seeing Battlecruisers microed against Thors is like one of the slowest micro engagements you've ever seen.
Uh-oh, but we did have a drop over here on the right-hand side eventually. It clears up part of this base, but still GuMiho working at such a deficit right now. Apocalypse is just crushing through this.
Yeah, I mean, once you get that many Thors out, and he's also got SCVs to repair them as well, it just becomes very, very, very difficult to deal with that.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see Apocalypse kind of cruise to victory here. And speaking of cruise, here's the Battlecruisers.
Yeah.
Oh, will it be enough?
I don't know. He's starting to finally take out a couple of these Thors.
Yeah, he's going to get them.
Oh, it looks like he is. Will he be able to get any of the reinforcements, though? That's the real question, as right now GuMiho is actually down to 74 supply, but the Thors are all falling.
Wow, yeah, nicely handled by GuMiho. Down, but not out yet, apparently.
Okay.
He still has 1 mining base, but he has no gas at that mining base,
too.
So he's going to run out fairly quickly here.
Yes, he is.
But he is making Marauders, so that's not going to run him out as quickly as other things. I don't know, Quantic.Apocalypse is still in a pretty good position, but it's just such a back-and-forth game, man. It was like the lone Velociraptor that nobody saw coming.
And those Vikings really took some damage there, but yeah, got to watch out for those Velociraptors, man. Let's see. Oh, this could be bad, but a couple of Marauders do pop out. They're going to chase away the Hellions for now, and it looks like GuMiho wants to engage into this. He's got a good number of Bioforces, and the Thors are relatively weak against these Bioforces. A few SCVs are pulled off of the line for now.
They're not repairing.
Oh, but the Battlecruisers have fallen. The last Thor is going to go down. What does what does Apocalypse have to defend against this right now?
Well,
he's still going over to just pure Thor.
Yeah, he's got 3 Thors coming out here. He's got to deal with this Bioforce. His very strong. Those landed Vikings are not going to do a whole lot against this. The SCV's coming off the line.
What?
All he needs to do is defend this push by GuMiho. If he can defend this push, he can win the game, man.
Oh, and it looks like he's going to. GuMiho is going to get pushed back for now. What a crazy back and forth.
Yeah. More SCVs dying there. I mean, the problem is if you look at GuMiho's last base, it really has not been mining much at all.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's sitting down there. Oh, wow, and that Hellion has still been coming through. It's 29 supply now to 77, but there is a battle cruiser in the air. We'll see if that can be enough. There's 3 Thors up now. I don't know if the 1 battle cruiser is going to be enough.
He's targeting it down.
Yeah, trying his best here. The Marauders were trying to get out of the way with those +3 attacks. That's it, GG!
Yep.
Ridiculous!
Wow.